7:30. We're going to call our board briefing to order. I'd like to thank all of you for coming out on today for our board briefing or our meeting. Mr. Superintendent, do we have any public comments or presentation at this time?
No requested prior to the meeting, Mr. Johnson. No, sir.
Right, thank you. Next, we will review the agenda items to give board members an opportunity to ask questions or to make comments. Will we need an executive session to discuss personnel and property?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Board members, do you have any questions about the agenda?
No.
Number one, consideration and approval of minutes from our regular board meeting held on Monday, September 12th, 2022. Are there any questions or comments? Number two, consideration and recommendation for employment of personnel. Yes, Ms. Poole.
Positions are the same for POTS. Is that a mistake?
For Cox, which was that?
Monroe High. It's got growth, but it has the same position.
Is it certified, Miss
Under classified.
Classified
Change of status.
Cox?
POTS.
Oh, POTS. That's what you're talking
I'm sorry.
about. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's another classroom.
Another classroom.
Yeah,
So
right.
anytime they move, I know when they change positions.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know classrooms.
Yeah, that probably didn't need to be on there.
Okay. Yeah, I was just
Right.
asking when I saw it.
Okay. Our minds are clear on two.
I think that's doing the Elevate class. She's doing the Elevate class. It's actually a classroom manager for the Elevate class.
Moving on to item number three, consideration and recommendation for release of personnel. Are there any questions or comments?
Yeah, one, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
that was done in error. Mr. Plummer is down for that is in error. That should not be on there. He's still here.
Okay. Mr. Plummer, okay, thank you. Item number four, consideration of recommendation to approve from the Building and Grounds Committee, A, local facilities plan consulting services contract award. Are there any questions or comments? B, Facilities Department F-250 truck purchase. C, Facilities Department F-150 truck purchase. Number five, consideration and recommendation to approve from the Finance Committee, A, ESSER 3, American Rescue Plan 6-month review. Questions or comments? B, Georgia D.G. grant budgets. 1 Kate grants. Questions, comment? 2, special education. Grants, 3 federal program grants. Are there any questions, comments? 4, C, Gear Up Special Education Programs. Special Education Program contracts. Are there any questions about that? None. 6, consideration of recommendation to approve consent items fundraising request, out-of-state field trip. And item 7, financial report. Well, since there are no comment, Mr. Superintendent, are you ready for your report at this time?
Sir.
Right, we'll hear the superintendent's report.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, the superintendent's report for September 29th, 2022. First, we'll discuss our COVID-19 data as we typically do. Then we'll have our strategic plan update, and this time we'll focus on our family community engagement activities. We'll have a brief review of our military history and financial performance, and then we'll have some celebration and announcements, and then, with time permitting, we'll have an executive session for personnel and property. Our 14-day rolling average for COVID-19 cases, new cases in Dougherty County as of yesterday was 4.14. That's down from 12.29 on September 7th. Our PCR positivity rate is 15.3, which is the same as it was on September 7th. And we have had no change in FEBI's reporting. But the numbers have gone down significantly. They've actually relaxed their masking requirements again in the hospital. So that's a good sign when FEBI does that. Well, I think they're probably the last in the community to do that. Our vaccination update, little change since the last meeting. The ages 5 to 19 up 0.2%, 10 to 14 up 0.1%, and the other numbers have not changed. Numbers have not increased, they've changed the percentages. So again, those are moving slower than we would like, but again, cases are down, and positivity is not increasing. We are getting ready to go into the winter season, and and so there's going to be a push for people who have gotten both shots to get the third shot, and for people who've gotten the third shot to get the fourth shot. We'll see. We'll participate in that, and we'll see how that goes to get that added protection going into the winter months. Strategic plan update. As you know, our priorities are early literacy, academic rigor and relevance, social and emotional wellness for our students, investment in human capital, and family and community engagement. We've given a significant several updates on the early literacy progress, and also our efforts for academic rigor and relevance, as well as our efforts for social and emotional wellness for our students. And last meeting we had a significant information we provided about investment in human capital. And then we're going to talk about our activities associated with family community engagement. And our priority says that we'll provide timely and purposeful communication and engagement with parents, families, and community members. And when you look at it, it talks a lot about proactively communicating with parents, families, and community members so they're well informed of student progress, upcoming events, district initiatives, and engagement. We're going to alter that a little bit. Engagement is more than just about timely communication, and so we're going to change that. We had our DCSS council meeting last week, and that was one of the comments that was made about making sure that it's more than just about communications, but also a really authentic engagement. And so, and although the priority, the writing does not speak to that, the work we've been doing does speak to that. And one initiative is our Level Up initiative. It's a workforce development collaboration between the school system and Albany Technical College. You've heard us talk about our Connected to Careers initiative with students, work-based learning opportunities to have them prepared for careers that they choose to go directly into the workforce after graduation. Because as we know, although a 4-year degree is one pathway to success, it's not the only pathway to success. And so we're preparing our students for whatever they choose to do. I want them to be prepared when they leave Dougherty County School System, high school, to be successful. And so, and we've taken that, and we know that's a long-term approach to economic development and changing the trajectory of some of our families in the Dougherty County school system. But we also felt that as part of our engagement with our families, that that same approach can be used with parents. We have parents of children in the Dougherty County school system who go to work every day, work hard every day, and what we would consider dead-end jobs because they don't have a marketable skill. And the work ethic is there, the desire is there, the know-how sometimes is not there. So as part of Albany Tech's Rebuild Southwest Georgia grant, they have resources available to provide training, job skills training, free of charge to most folks that they qualify for financial aid. And so that funding takes care of the coursework, and in many cases it'll take care of other things like equipment that are needed. The Dougherty County School System has a grant, as you know, funding from Georgia Power, and our two initiatives, primary initiatives, are the connected to careers piece, where we provide training for our students, but also upskilling and reskilling of adult family members of our students. And so we're going to leverage our funds to fill in the gaps where the Rebuild Southwest Georgia grant from Albany Tech does not. Child care, special equipment, or special safety boots or things of that nature that may be acquiring those things may be a barrier to some of those parents. We're going to provide that so that we can get those barriers out of the way. Also, before he passed, Dr. Parker and I talked about a evening and weekend courses because some parents work during the day. And so I'm thankful to Interim President Griswold, who has lived up to that commitment. They've already announced their evening classes. And so we're in the process now working with their Rebuild Southwest Georgia grant coordinator, Mr. Davis, and Miss Wiggins, Danita Wiggins. They're working with Albany Tech, and we have a marketing campaign, talk to several faith-based leaders in the community, and we're going to get the word out via our parent portal, as well as through other community communication tools to let them know these opportunities that exist. And we are confident that we'll have a number of our parents and other adult family members of our students to take advantage of this, and we can see it almost an immediate impact. I think those programs are no more than 12 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, and so within 3 or 4 months, we should have a cohort of our participants trained, and we're also going to have a job fair at the end of the program, so employers can come in and hire, and we can get them started on an open trajectory, and so Level Up is something that we're really excited about. The next, I've told you about this before, we actually our foundation, the village, and we always say it takes a village to raise a child, and the name of the Dougherty County School System Education Foundation is the village. It's a foundation for educational excellence in Dougherty County, and we have completed the organizational paperwork. We've also completed and been approved for a 501c3 status for the IRS, so we're tax exempt and charitable organization. So people make donations, they can take it off on their taxes, and so the structures are in place. We're in the process now of identifying potential foundation board members, and going to ask them to join, be a part of the foundation, join the village, be a part of the village, and we anticipate having that done prior to the end of the calendar year. And so we're looking forward to the work that I'm sure they'll do in terms of getting additional resources to help support our students and our teachers as we strive to provide, to undergird the work that we're doing, and provide a foundation for educational excellence in the Dougherty County school system. So those are two very brief overviews of our efforts in the family and community engagement category of our strategic plan, and we'll give you more details as they develop. But we're really excited about these two initiatives, and we think they'll pay tremendous dividends for our students and our families within the school system. Any questions about the village or about the Level Up initiative? If not, again, that's our priority area, and that's the fifth of our 5 priorities, and not that it's the least, but it's just number 5. I think all of them are important. It's just number 5. It's not the fifth priority. It's just number 5 on the list. Next, our millage rate history. There's been some misinformation in the community that's saying that the Dougherty County school system is raising the millage rate 3.5 meals. I think they got us confused with our with the county commission, and I'm not saying they shouldn't raise their millage rate. I mean, they know better than we do. I just want to make sure that people understand that that's not the Dougherty County school system. And so we got the information from the Georgia Department of Revenue, and as we present the millage rate history for the school system for the last 24 years. And the Dougherty County Board of Education has only raised the millage rate once in the last 24 years, and that was in 2003. I don't know if any of you were on the board in 2003. And I know since I've been here, we hadn't raised the millage rate. If we had, Reverend Bush would take exception to that. He's not raising taxes. He says it all the time. In fact, this board has reduced the millage rate 5 out of the last 6 years. And even with the reduction in the millage rate and the significant investments you made in improving student outcomes, we still in the FY22 with a projected general fund reserve of over $38 million. So we made the investments we need to make, and we've reduced the millage rate, and we've still been able to be good stewards
Mr. Chair.
of the taxpayers' money. And I want to thank you for your vision with the investments you made, as well as your stewardship in safeguarding our funds. So we really appreciate your leadership and your stewardship as it relates to our fiscal activities.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Reverend Bush.
if you would allow me to ask Mr. Dye and Ms. Hatcher staff if they would be kind enough to send that information that he just delivered to us. Of course, many of us have known this for many moons, but if we could just obtain that information, it would be obliged.
He will forward it to you, Reverend Bush.
Sir?
He will forward it to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And Reverend Bush, he's our long-serving chair of our finance committee, and he's made it very clear his position on taxes and tax increases. And so we really appreciate Reverend Bush and the other members of the finance committee for their work and their leadership and their guidance. Now, a few celebrations and announcements. A mentor of mine told me the best person to correct a mistake is the person that made it. And we made a mistake at the last meeting. We left off a couple of acknowledgments. National Arts and Education Week, Ms. Hutley. Yes, ma'am. You didn't tell me, but I knew you knew. Was September 11th through the 17th, and we certainly celebrate the arts in Dougherty County, and that was an oversight. Charge it to my head, not my heart. So we're making that acknowledgement now, and we won't miss that again next year. Also, it was IT Professionals Day on September 20th, and where would we be if not for our IT professionals? A 1-to-1 district has to have our IT professionals, and they do an excellent job. And this month is also our Hispanic Heritage Month, and a lot of our schools are celebrating that. We want to make sure we acknowledge that as we wind this month up. And this week is Gear Up Week. Everybody knows Gear Up is our post-secondary preparation program for high school students. Our cohorts are in the 2024 and 2025 graduating classes, and so it prepares them with SAT prep, ACT prep, college tours, other academic enrichment activities and leadership enrichment activities throughout the year, including the summer. And so all geared toward exposing them, making them aware of opportunities for post-secondary education as they go through high school. And moving into next month, October 2nd, is National Custodian Day, and we want to thank our custodians for providing us with a clean and comfortable environment. And Reverend Bush has said many times, you have to do more than just pat people on the back and tell them a good job. And we've taken that to heart, as you know, with our employees who are on the public school employee retirement system, including our custodians, other facilities employees, as well as our school nutrition employees and bus drivers. We increased our match in the 403B optional retirement plan, supplemental retirement plan, from 3% to 6%, because we think it's important that they have that investment made in them. We've also, at one point, custodians had to pay half of the fee for their uniform rental, and we stopped that, and we pay 100% of that. They shouldn't have to do that. We're in the process now of getting sizes for the shoes, so they can have slip-resistant shoes. They cost a little more than the typical shoes. We're going to provide that as part of the uniform, and that's also going to reduce our slips, trips, and falls, and it's going to help us with our workers' comp claims as well. And of course, you know, we made an adjustment in the pay scale last year, because we said that no one who works full-time for the Dougherty County school system ought to live below poverty. And so we've increased our pay to be 10 to 15% above that national level, and we can anticipate a recommendation from us in November, no later than November, to do another mid-year adjustment for this classification of employees. And so, Reverend Bush, we're doing more than just patting them on the back and telling them we appreciate them. We try to show them that we appreciate them by investing in them, because they do such a great job and important work for our school system.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Heath?
I have a question I would like to address to the superintendent. In addition to the recognition that you just mentioned for our custodian staff, what as a district or a board can we do in addition to just making the announcement? Now, you know I have a few things on my list.
Yes, ma'am.
Suggestions for that. And I know that when you start with one, you'll have to continue it with the others, and that's fine. But as you said, we are extending or increasing their pay. That's nice. But I think the city of Albany should know that this board and this school system appreciates our custodians, our CNS workers, as well as our bus drivers. So can we get a proclamation?
We certainly can. This board can do one.
Thank you.
And we certainly can be that wish of the board. And we also talked at our DCSS Leadership Council meeting about service awards and other recognitions, district-wide recognitions, to align with our Teacher of the Year recognition in the spring. So you'll be hearing something about that in the coming months.
Okay.
All right. Next, October, and this is a preview. October is Cybersecurity Month, and although a lot of folks don't get excited about cybersecurity, it's very important. In just a few facts, we're going to have a detailed presentation in October, but just a teaser, so to speak. The K-12 cyber incident map is shown here. This is not an interactive map. This is just a screenshot, but it's an interactive visualization of cyber security related incidents reported by K through 12 public schools from 2016 to present. You can see a lot of incidents on that map. And in the Dougherty County school system alone, since August 22nd, August 29th rather, 30 days, we've logged and blocked approximately 2,000 malicious emails. In 30 days, 2,000. And we also have a campaign that we do training, and we we send out phishing emails and attempts with just to see if our employees are aware. And unfortunately, we sent one out on September 19th, and we had about 12% of our employees to click on the link. That could have been a malicious link if the email had been sent from someone else. And so 300 and so employees clicked on the link. They'll go through some additional training to help them understand, because all it takes is one click. It takes one click, and you see in 2,030 days, and so people are trying all the time. And you may have heard Terra County was a victim of ransomware last year. Dougherty County this year. LA Unified, California, about a month or so ago. And you heard, I'm sure you've heard several incidents of malware and ransomware attacks at public entities. And so we're not exempt from that, and we're aware of that. That's why we asked and you approved investing in cybersecurity manager, who's a full-time dedicated employee, just to make sure that our network is protected, and he monitors that consistently. We've invested in the equipment, malware equipment, detection equipment. Our firewall through Palo Alto is probably second to none. We've made significant investments in our IT security, and we appreciate that. And you can see why, because we get a lot of attacks on our network, and we have a lot of sensitive information in our computer system, and we want to make sure that we protect that. And also, if we become a victim of that, it can stop our operations, not only our administrative operations, but also our instruction. Our students who have the one-to-one devices will be impacted as well. So thank you again for your investments in these important activities and initiatives, and they're paying dividends. In addition to the 2,000 malicious emails, we had about 1,000 suspicious login attempts, and they're considered suspicious if they come from outside our geographical and physical location based on geotagging and IP addresses. And so in October you'll get a more detailed presentation about where some of these attempts are coming from, what different countries and states and things of that nature. You'll be might not be sharp, but you could be surprised about where these attempts are coming from and how many we get. Now, we talked about the teacher pipeline, and we also talked about the challenges with the leadership pipeline. Last year we announced we had our first cohort when we redesigned our DCSS Aspiring Leaders Academy, and this is a picture of the 10 participants in this year's cohort. We had our kickoff about 2 weeks ago, and they'll go through a series of sessions, and they get exposed to training from some of the best educational leaders in the country, quite frankly, through this academy, and they'll be prepared to move into roles such as assistant principal, instructional coach, student improvement specialist, whatever track they decide to go in. We think they'll be well prepared when they complete this academy. And this is part of the pipeline that we're developing our own leaders, because the leader pipeline is shrinking, much like the teacher pipeline is shrinking. So I grow your own initiatives with our teachers, our innovative approaches to attract teachers, teacher candidates, is also we're doing the same thing with our leader candidates, and we hope to see, we believe we'll see great results from this group. From aspiring leaders to established leaders, Levinas Grace has been selected as a cohort in the cohort of South Georgia Leads. It's a group of leaders throughout Southwest Georgia, and they learn about the economy of Southwest Georgia, the economic drivers of Southwest Georgia, and quite frankly, a lot of information about South Georgia and the impact they can have as leaders. And so he'll be joining leaders from across South Georgia for this year, and become exposed to to what they have to offer, and also share with them what we have to offer. And so he's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to him participating. I'm sure he'll represent Dougherty County school system and Turner Elementary School quite well. He's we've had a member from the Dougherty County school system, and I think 3 out of the last 4 South Georgia League's cohorts, and I'm sure he'll continue to represent us well. Also, I want to congratulate Mr. Vincent Davis, Associate Superintendent for District Effectiveness, and Ms. Carla Hawkins, our District Work-Based Learning Coordinator, for being selected in the class of 2023 for Leadership Albany. And speaking on behalf of the best class ever for Leadership Albany 2012, congratulations. and those that have been in Leadership Albany, they know us to do. Everybody says we have the best class ever. And so we always compete for that, but I think it's a fact that 2012 was the best class ever. And so I'm sure that you'll shoot for that, and when he finishes, he and Ms. Hawkins will say they're in the best class ever. And so every round goes higher and higher. And so I think you all will find that rewarding, and I'm sure you'll contribute significantly to the efforts of that class and to the benefit of Albany and Dougherty County. Last meeting we talked about Cam Davis at Dougherty High, and now we're talking about Ryan Jenkins at Westover High. He was named the Georgia Farm Bureau Football Player of the Week this past week for his performance on the field at Westover. Also, again, with the arts, we had 2 bands. The Dougherty band went to Columbus, Georgia, and participated in the Cherokee Battle of the Bands, sponsored by Kendrick High School, and they ended up winning overall top band. They won the best dance line and best drum line. They received a $500 award for their efforts, and we had band members receive over $60,000 in scholarship offers while there at the competition. So congratulations to the Dougherty High School Phantom Trojan. I think they got that right. Phantom Trojan marching band. Also, Westover High School, they went to all the way to Jackson, Mississippi, to participate in the Jackson State University High School Battle of the Bands, and they came in 2nd place overall. And so, congratulations to the Westover High School marching band also. As you know, as a charter system, we value community input. In fact, the majority of our governance teams are made up of community members, and they do a great job. They meet, most of them meet monthly, and provide guidance, advice, and counsel as part of the governance process of our schools. And I thank this board for sharing that governance responsibility to members of our community, and we meet with a group of local school governance team members quarterly as part of the superintendent's charter advisory panel. And what we did last time we met was a couple weeks ago. We announced our governance team of the year for last year, and Lincoln Lions, Lincoln Elementary Magnet School, won the DCSS governance team of the year. I think Dr. Fennessy was there, and he congratulated them as well. And so they've done a great job. All of our governance teams do a great job, and we appreciate the work that they do. This year, Lincoln stood above and was recognized as the governance team of the year. And on October 4th, we'll kick off the Charter System Foundation Fall Conference in Athens, Georgia, where they'll be in competition for governance team of the year for the state. And last year, International Studies Elementary Charter School, their governance team won governance team of the year for the state, and we are looking forward a repeat with the Lincoln local school governance team. So we're looking forward to them coming back with that recognition. And if they don't, they've certainly done a great job. It does not diminish the work that they've done and the contribution that they've made to the school system, to Lincoln, and most importantly, to our students. Now, we can go into executive session. I don't anticipate any action coming out of executive session, Mr. Chair. So if the board wishes to move into executive session now, that's fine, or they want to go into the meeting and then do executive session after the meeting, the business of the meeting is conducted. That'll be, either will be fine. I don't anticipate any action coming out of executive session unless you all do.
What's the will of the board? Do you want to have executive session now or after our regular meeting?
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Hudley?
I move that we go into executive session just now.
Second.
All right, motion second, we go into executive session.
But
All in,
the question was for clarity. He was saying we were not gonna have any action, so can we go
Okay.
on with the agenda? So those people can leave at that time after we finish with the agenda and then go into executive session. I believe that was the
Well,
conversation, Mr.
Oh, that-
Dyer, I'm
In
sorry.
light of what our co-member here has said, Mr. Chair, I'd
Yes,
like to
Ms.
move
Hudley.
then that we move with our meeting first because we want to be
Second
cordial to.
motion.
okay, so we go on with our regular meeting at this time. All right.
Yeah, 1 second.
We will now go into our regular board meeting. We stand for a moment of silence and pledge of allegiance. Do we have any public comments at this time, Mr. Superintendent?
Sir.
All right. Can we get a motion to adopt the agenda, including 2A?
So move.
Probably motion second, that we adopt the agenda, including 2A. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 All opposed? No opposes, the ayes have it. Consideration to approve the minutes of our regular board meeting held on Monday, September the 12th, 2022.
So
Uh,
moved.
Second.
Proper motion second, we approve our minutes that was held on September the 12th, 2022. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? The ayes have it. I entertain a motion to approve a consent agenda, including item 2,
So move.
6B.
Second.
Did we get a motion? I didn't hear it.
So move.
All right, second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All, are there any opposes? No opposes, the ayes have it. Okay. Consideration for, well, that includes, that's it.
A couple of comments, if you don't mind.
Okay, Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, sir. We want to keep the families of Ronald Gasson, who was administrator here with district, who passed away recently. Prayers. He spoke with his wife and his daughter, and they were doing as well as to be expected. He had his funeral was homegoing service was last Saturday. I believe Mr. Bullock and Ms. Smith attended on behalf of the school system, and so we certainly thank them for doing that. And just want to recognize his service to our school system, to our students publicly, and he's certainly going to be missed. He suffered for a while with some various illnesses. He told me at the tailgate, he said he was in the best health he'd been in years, and died unexpectedly a few weeks ago, and that was certainly a blow. And just just 2 days ago. Headed to Atlanta for a TRS board meeting, and got a phone call about Mr. Darian Green, a paraprofessional at International Studies Elementary Charter School, passed away. He informed his principal that he was not feeling well that morning, so he wouldn't be in. And about 1 o'clock, he had passed away. So spoke with Dr. Davis, and he informed the faculty that day, and they informed the students the day after. And we had the crisis team there to assist. And he called me and said that everything went fairly well. He said sometimes it's good to cry together, and it is. And I'm sure they did that, and they supported each other, and then they all supported the students the next day, along with members of our crisis team. And I certainly want to thank them for the work that they did in that regard. It's been tough, but we're going to get through it as we always have, and we're going to keep striving and moving forward. So just want to make sure we do that. Also, I wanted to express again condolences to Reverend Bush. For those that may not know, his Aunt Dolly passed away at the young age of 99 years old. And so, Reverend Bush, to you and your family, we express our condolences as well. So that's all I have. One bit of good news. I want to welcome Mr. Herbert Hill, who's our new Assistant Director for Transportation. He's so excited. He decided to come to the meeting.
All
So
right.
stand up, Mr. Hill. He's coming to us from Augusta, Richmond County,
All
and
right.
he's also serving in Columbus, Muskogee County, and so he's coming back closer to home. And Ken Bradshaw, the superintendent in Richmond, he's not speaking to me right now, but that's okay. He'll get over it. He'll get over it. Thanks for coming and welcome aboard, sir. All right. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hill, for coming and being a member of the Dougherty County school system. We welcome you. Before we go into our executive session, I would like to ask the board members, we talked about a proclamation for the custodians. Are we all in agreement with that? Okay, so no objection. All right, so we'll get with the superintendent to see how that we would get that proclamation together. And thank you, Ms. Heath, for bringing that to our attention about the custodians.
Right. Make a motion that we go into executive session for personnel and property.
All right, motion second, we go into executive session for personnel and property. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? No opposed. We are now in executive session.
So move.
Got a second?
I did that.
The motion.
Motion and second to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. We are now adjourned. Thank you, Mr.